There are two universes. There is the universe of light and the stars, and then that's of course called the cosmologic universe. And then there is the universe of no light and no stars, that's called the dark universe. So now let's come down to Earth. There are two predominant races of people. You call the African race, that's black, African dark. So that means that the African race represents the dark universe. And then you have the Caucasian race that describes itself as white, and so that race then represents the universe of light, light white. So we have these two people that represent two different universes. Now what is relevant here is to look at what has happened to people who represent the dark universe and to people who represent the universe of light. So we go back and look at the era that we live in. We live the present era that is almost come to a close now. Is called the era of Pisces. Now Pisces of course is the era of light. So this had to be the era for the Caucasian, the white race. And so that means that everything that humans have always appreciated has had to be based on light, enlightenment. That's the reason why the word enlightenment has been very much popularized, because it has to do with white and light. Now this era is come to a close. It's gone through its own period. It's gone over 2,000 years, 2,400, 500 years. So this era is now come to a close, and now we are entering the era of endarkenment, and that era is Aquarius. So we're going to begin to change our terminologies in terms of what we accept and what we reject. So the dark race is going to take over, whether we like it or not. We can philosophize, we can go and cry to Jesus Christ, or to Allah, whoever it is, or Buddha. It matters not. The times have changed, the eras have changed. So this is now going to be the era for the Africans. So therefore, in terms of education, race, and intelligence, the war for these 2,500 years has been against African spirituality. The war has been against the dark universe. Everything that is dark has been demeaned as evil. You look in the dictionary about black. Black is ugly. Black is filthy. Everything that is associated with dark and black has always been not a pleasurable thing. People, that's the reason why there's discrimination. Don't go near that black child. Don't play with a black child. You see, during slavery, with our hairs, we are constantly touched, played with by the Caucasian, and they said we had woolly hair. And so even the Bible talks about us as the cursed race of people and so forth. So everything that was put together by the Caucasian race has always been to demean the African race. So now here we talk about race and intelligence. So now there has been a war, the war against African spirituality. So let's look at the black child and the white child. Spiritually, the black child is 5 times readier to learn any subject than the white child. That is true, and I will give you some instances on that statement. And then the next, spiritually, the black child is 10 times more motivational to learn than the white child. And then the third statement there says, spiritually, the black child is 20 times more challengeable than the white child. Well, before this era, the era of Pisces, the era in which the pyramid construction was in full force, definitely give us some reason to believe that these statements are correct and are going to come again to pass. The Africans, we Africans built the pyramids. We had no cranes. We had no kinds of lifts. So how did we do it? Well, that's a subject that we're going to talk about when we have our symposiums, because I know that black people are going to be inviting me, the Dohgon, to their cities, so that we can have discussions on this, to really give them the motivation that we talk about here, and then the challenge for them to begin to come back home to their own blackness, so that we can change the dimensions in which things are happening to our children. It's not a pleasurable thing, but they are happening, and so we have to do something about it. And Professor Momo, please contact my co-host, Choir Storm, and you can discuss with her about how to invite us to your city for a seminar, symposium, or workshop, because we are ready to begin teaching this information. The era has definitely changed. This is now the era